Hey everyone, you're here with F5. We're at GovWare 2022. My name is Boo Lam, Community Evangelist with the F5 DevCentral team, and I'm joined today by Aditya Sood. Aditya, what's your role at F5?
Thanks, Boo. I'm a Senior Director of Threat Research and Security Strategy at the Office of the CTO F5.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, we're doing our best as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. And this week, we brought you into Singapore to give a talk, and I think you might be on a panel as well.
Yeah.
So why don't you give us an idea of what you'll be talking about this week?
Yeah, so tomorrow we are talking about ransomware infections in cloud databases. So what we have seen in recent times, the trend of the research have been much more focused on the scenario of end-user systems that are compromised with ransomware. What we are seeing, like cloud databases like Elasticsearch, MongoDB and many more, they are being infected at a very large scale. And the most important target case in this case is that because data. And data is the new e-currency, or you can call whoever controls the data controls the keys to the kingdom. So what we are demonstrating those attacks tomorrow, and we have developed two different tools to detect infections in Elasticsearch and MongoDB, and we'll be demonstrating those tools too as well.
Oh wow, that's really interesting actually. So when you say large scale, are we talking about tens, hundreds, thousands of databases being compromised?
Absolutely. So what happened in this case, one of the more important reasons in this case is for this kind of threat research that we want to focus on is the way these cloud databases are being used. We know that in this the world are moving very fast, API is being consumed at an exponential rate. In order to do that, which means the data is also being transacted at a very, very high pace, right? And there's somewhere you have to store the data, which means that is the databases. If you're talking about microservices, modern applications using them, so they have to store the data mostly into the cloud databases. And what happens at the end of the day is that that's where the data resides. And there is we're talking about scalability, right? We are talking about trillions of transactions that are happening in a month or a week, which means data needs to stay there. Those are the databases. So more and more instances of the cloud databases will be available on the internet. A single flaw, for example, if I say a simple case scenario, an organization which is using the same config file, which has some sort of configuration security issue in it, and they are just pushing that config file all across, then it's a big problem. And that's where we are kind of focused on, it's a scalable problem that's need to be tackled, because with a one config issue, one infection, it can be scalable all across, large scale, thousands of databases can be compromised. And we have mass scanning tools, we have a lot of other things available. You find a vulnerability, exploit them, embed your ransomware, and then you can go for that, control the data.
Wow, so do you think you guys have developed some tools, is that on the remediation side or detection side?
So mostly it is more on the detection side, but we believe that these tools and the technologies, the kind of stuff that we have developed, which is a pretty much open source tool, but they can be also been integrated into the agile testing methodology. And that I think is going to be very helpful for the organization. They can use that code, repurpose it, put it then in the agile testing, and when they are deploying cloud databases, config files, they can test it by scanning network services and all the heuristics that we have embedded into those code.
Wow, that is pretty cool. And when you say that's open source tools, is the tool itself, is that open for the public to check out, or do you guys have that kind of kept away?
No, it's all open. We believe that we have to share this research with the security community, and that is the most important part, so that everybody can utilize the best of the breed. And that's how we build strong security community, and that's a great security companies work in the sphere. The tools are available for everybody. They can use it, they can repurpose it. It's all with them.
Wow, that's really cool. All right, so what I'll do is I'll actually get the link for that from you. I will put that into the description of this video, wherever it's shared. Aditya, how could people find out more about your research?
Yeah, I think you can visit f5.com primarily, and then you can find a lot of there. We have I have my personal website as well if they want to see what are things we are doing, GitHub resources, and many more, which we'll be sharing with the audience pretty soon.
Very cool. All right, on behalf of myself, Aditya, and F5, you're watching us at GovWare 2022, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, all.